Welcome to the WeCoach channel. My name is John Cafiro. Here we are today. We were going to replace some bad joists, some bad spindles, all the decking or most of it on this deck, a lot of the steel brackets. So you're gonna get a taste of all of it. You can see it's quite rotted, very unsafe in this state. Extremely rotted all the way through some of these beams. And the reason is they had like a fascia board on the outside, and a lot of water and moisture just got trapped inside there. So we're going to replace some of the columns with all new pressure treated wood, and like I said, most of the decking in the front half. This is a yoga retreat center. It's in Palm Bay, Florida. Beautiful area. And in this center here, actually, that upstairs was the living quarters of a lady that started this retreat center. She's from India and has a place in New York City as well as here in Palm Bay, Florida. But she passed away about 10 years ago, and unfortunately they don't even use this upstairs whole living quarters where this has this deck. So really nobody, when we're done, no one will even be really utilizing this deck for anything. But it's so unsafe that they were, the current people managing this facility are, nervous that it might fall down, which is definitely could be the case. So we're making it stronger. If it was my house, I would be taking this whole deck down and just redoing it completely. But a lot of the joists are good, so we inspected every board, changing only the very extremely rotted boards and columns. And we wound up changing all the decking because really none of it was safe. Occasionally, people will go upstairs to kind of take a tour. People that come in from India or around the world to this facility, and they'll take a sneak peek of upstairs. But so here we are, custom cutting one of the brackets for the joist. This one goes against the building, so it had to be like kind of custom modified to get the bracket in. So otherwise we wouldn't be able to get it in the way that it was positioned. So you can see we got the side beam off, the first column in, and then we can slip that column that slipped in there. You can see there it is right there. Just getting that bracket in there. So pretty easy. Got to, of course, temporarily support. Got to watch what you're doing when you do. You can see the supports there temporarily holding up the deck, so we can get the other structures out that's holding up the deck. So you really got to think ahead before you just start removing stuff. So here we are cutting off the spindles. We have most of them off. Some of the bolts are so rusty. Some just fell apart and crumbled. Some we can get off with an impact wrench. Some we just had to get the grinder out and just grind it off to get that out completely. Guys, if you could be so kind as to hit up that like button, it really helps out the channel a lot. If you can do so, this is the WeCoach channel for those who are joining. We first started this channel. I started this channel several years ago, more inspirational type things. I am an inspirational speaker. I do have a couple of books out as well. But the channel kind of changed when I started selling online, and I've been selling on eBay actually, and Poshmark and Mercari for, eBay anyway, for over 20 years. And the other two probably in the last 2-3 years now. But my wife has kind of taken over that, but construction's always been my thing. The channel then, morphed into some of my investments that I invest in, talking about that. So I try to give back as much as I can to add to show people what we're doing with the WeCoach channel. And, so this is what I'm going to do going forward a bit. I'm not going to say I'm not going to talk about, selling online, or not going to talk about stocks or investments. It's all about just doing what I can to give back my knowledge and my years of experience. So there's another chunk of rotted timber coming out. You can see it's quite bad, so we have to cut it out in pieces. And again, very carefully, as this whole thing was so shaky when we started working on it, so we really temporarily supported it really well. To make sure it doesn't fall down. That would be a disaster because they didn't have it in the budget, and certainly I don't, to rebuild the whole thing. But all went well. You see here we have one of the columns loose and ready to go to lift this next section out here, and then we'll put one solid beam all the way across as far as we can until we get to the next column over. So we'll just loosen everything up and just slip it out. So all those spindles are now loosened, and we're reusing whatever ones are not rotted. So those are just hanging from the top rail. and we'll just replace any of the ones that are missing are now trashed because they were so rotted, but the ones that are still there are still good. So, you know, after 30 years, a lot of the deck was still good, but not the case. So here we're trying to get this column back in place. This is one that we're keeping. We're not taking this one out. We'll get that back in place. So again, I'm a handyman here in Florida. Used to build custom homes, and I've been in construction. HVAC business was my father's business. Started in 1946, so I've been in construction my whole life. That's how we make money. That's how we make money, to buy stocks and buy pallets of merchandise. We flip things online as well, like I said. So if you are in the area, Melbourne, Palm Bay area, anywhere in the Space Coast, Brevard County area, pretty much can help you out. If you want to reach out, I'll put a link down below of the website. It's flhandymannow.com. But any questions? If you guys have any questions, please drop them in the link down below, in the section down below. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Even stop by if you are local. If you have a question, you want to do something, and I don't charge for that, I'd be happy to help you out. It's just I love helping people out. That's what the WeCoach channel is. It's not the WeCoach channel. It's the WeCoach channel for a reason. And please put your comments, your thoughts on how you would do this, if something you would do differently than the way we're doing it, if there's a certain material that you would suggest using. I want to hear about it. You know, there's always room to learn, and that's why I put this channel together, really, is to help each other out. We're all learning all the time. If anybody tells me that they know it all, well, that's the first sign that I know they don't know much, because I'm certainly not an expert. I don't know everything. I'm not an expert about everything, and I don't think anybody is. So always learning. Every job is a challenge. Everyone's a different opportunity to discover something new and figure out something new, figure out new ways of doing things faster, better, more efficiently, and making it stronger. So, and that's the bottom line here, and on a budget. So here we are, taking this last section out, and just about loose. And down it goes. Gotta walk this one down, because it is quite heavy, but then we'll get rid of all the nails that are in the way. And most of this was all nailed. The spindles were bolted, through bolted with 1/4 carriage bolts. So we replaced them the same way, unless it hit like a column, then we put a screw there, but a couple screws rather. But we use the same 1/4 carriage bolts and nuts and washers, galvanized of course, so it doesn't rust. But you can see there the beam is all out up to this next column anyway, and this is where the new column will go. And then we'll that's the temporary support. That's just a 2x6, just wedged in there tight and screwed to the top temporarily, so it doesn't slip, doesn't move. We have a little pressure upwards, so this way when we take out the temporary support, it will drop down nicely onto the new column and support that weight, because we don't want any bows in the deck, although it was not perfectly level, and it's really difficult to make it perfectly level at this point. But you know, we did our best to actually straighten out a lot of areas. So again, guys, if you can hit up that like button, I appreciate that so much. It helps out the channel, like I said. Consider joining the WeCoach channel. It is a channel that we all share together, and I'll have a lot more information. So here we are, gonna lift this beam right in place. So it's a 2x10, pressure treated, of course. And we had to notch those 4x4 posts, and then we'll screw this right in place, and then bolt the spindles on. And you know, it's quite easy. Sorry for the angle of this camera. I didn't have a tripod today, so a little low on the angle here, but bear with me. But we'll screw this all on here and get it nice and tight in place. You're good there? You got like half? You want to take a look? That's good. Take a look. Huh? So just check in to make sure everything's secure. I'm still holding the other side. We'll get more screws in here. And then this side's done. And then you can see to the left there, another section to the corner has to come out. And then we replaced, 90 degrees back to the side, we replaced another section. After that, it was all pretty solid because the sun was always shines that way. That's the south on the side. That's good. This side, not so good because not so much sun. Only gets early morning sun. There's a big tree that kind of hangs over this, which I recommend that they trim back a little bit because the decking stays a little bit wet. Again, the fascia, they had a fascia board, a 2x10. I guess it was just pine on top of the 2x10. So dirt gets in between their leaves. There's a lot of pine trees here, so pine needles get in there in between the crack of the 2x10 pine and the pressure treated joist. And, that just will wreak havoc on the whole system here. And that's what causes the moisture to stay in there and the boards to rot over the years because it just holds that moisture in there. Not a good idea. They did it to, I guess, try to make it look a little nice. You can see the fascia board on there. I think you can in this video here. So we're kind of speeding it up to give you a fast play of what's going on. But just cut it in sections. It was easier just to lift it down is why we did that. Every unbolting or grinding off the spindles and just prying those pieces out and just getting them down to the ground safely without too much problems. Really this went very smooth. It's very easy to do. So this column we're keeping. So like I said, we changed each and every other one. It was kind of weird because that's the ones that were rotted. So the two corner ones were rotted. So here we are on the side now. We already have that joist out. You can see in this picture here, and that column is in the corner. And then we're just going to pry out a little bit more, it looks like, and take it from there. But so far so good. All is good. We got the joist hangers on, and everything is so much stronger already, and we didn't even get to the decking yet. So much stronger. Customer super happy on this one for sure. This is we kind of threw this in for free. This is where the lady that runs it, it's her little residence on site where she lives. She had one rotted post, like a porch post. It's more for uplift. There is concrete in the ground already, so it was totally just dangling from the roof. You'll see in the picture in a minute here of what this building looks like. But we had an extra 4x4. I always buy a little extra wood, so just in case. So we're on site. We have enough. We don't have to run to Home Depot or Lowe's. But you'll see here that this was pretty simple to do. So we just secured it to the existing concrete. We thought we were going to have to pour concrete here, but there is solid concrete. It's very solid. We've got the Tapcons in there supporting that bracket. And you can see this is where she lives. It's a very small, very, very simple life on this yoga facility. It's called Yoga Shakti in Palm Bay, Florida. I do practice yoga. I love coming here. That's how I got this job and know of this facility. Great. You can see the deck board's extremely unsafe, to say the least. Not only was the structure unsafe, but the deck board. So here we are, we're screwing with weather-proof screws. We use the star bit screws, and we're just taking off one section at a time because it just keeps it stronger that way, and we can kind of use the old decking to pry off the next one, and we have a little gap there. And it's just easier to walk around and work, leaving some of the decking. I mean, it's unsafe, like I said, in some of the sections, but we took out those little pieces where it's really safe and just being extra careful here while we're doing that. So all this was nailed with big old nails. So some of the nails were a little difficult to get out, but some of these boards just literally crumbled off. So a lot of variances, and again, it doesn't get much sun on this side too much. You can see the sun line there on the railing, but the railing, was hit or miss. The spindles, not sure why some rot so bad and some were perfectly like new wood. But we changed quite a few spindles, I'll say. Quite a few, maybe about 50%.
Watch below.
laborsome, but nice weather during this day. The next day it gets a little chilly here. I never realized when I moved to Florida 8 years ago how chilly it gets sometimes. Sometimes down in the 30s where we are here, but for the most part, Florida's weird. It'll be down to 30 or so, and then the next day it's back in the 80s. So here it's still quite hot. But I believe the next day in the video is really quite chilly. You'll see by what we're wearing the next day is not quite as warm clothing. But they're coming out one at a time.
No, these are the most
definitely something you can do as long as you have patience and are smart about temporarily supporting it. Always got to see where the load is, where the weight is, what's holding what, because if you take out the wrong thing at the wrong time or prematurely, you're going to have quite a nightmare or a dangerous situation for yourself and others if you do something wrong. So always we're thinking far in advance before we just start whacking. And I always used to say that for demolition, you never want to send inexperienced guys for any type of demolition, whether it's interior, exterior. Demolition work is not only is it dangerous, but you need to fully understand construction of how things are built before you just start whacking it apart. There's too many of these TV shows, these home improvement shows online on TV or whatever online, or even YouTube videos for that matter, where they just start going with a sledgehammer and just knocking things down. Well, that looks fun, and it maybe sells commercials and makes the TV show a little better, but definitely not the wise way to go. You want to take it apart the opposite way of how it was put together, and always consider how was it supported, how is it supported, how will you support it before you just start chopping away or taking a chainsaw to this thing, because you're gonna have a nightmare or somebody's gonna get seriously hurt with it for sure. So just cutting the deck boards off to size, and we had 16 footers and 12 footers that we were just cutting from, basically staggering the joint. So there's not like a center seam all in the same spot. You want to stagger it. So start with a 16 on the one side, cut to size to get to the joist, and then one from the other side. It's one of the on-site employees there that kind of runs the maintenance on-site daily, like yard maintenance and stuff. He kind of loved watching us.
What do you got?
Again, guys, if you don't mind smacking up that like button, I really appreciate that so much. Helps out the channel, like I said, if you hit that like button, and consider dropping a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, good or bad. Again, how you would do things. If you have ideas, if you have any questions, most importantly, I'd love to help you out. Either help you out in your business, or if you want to reach out, if you're local, I'd be happy to help you out the same. And again, even if you're doing the project yourself, I don't need to, I can't do every project anyway. So if you have a question, you have a comment, you want to know what exactly we were using, something I forgot to mention here. Here you see, I'd be happy to answer those questions. So here we can see we got most of the decking on. You can see all the straps on. That's for uplift, those straps, in case of a wind uplift. And the decking mostly on. This is basically part of our contract here, is just doing this front section. It's the section that stays more wet. And then we replace some of them on this side, but they're in much better shape over there. The structure itself, much better shape. Really no rot. This is the dump where we had to take the pressure treated wood. I just thought it was I've never really been in this dump before. I've been in dumps before, but not one with such a large mound and all the birds and all. So we had to take it to a special dump because it's a little farther away, about 40 minutes or so, down in Cocoa, Florida, because of pressure treated. The normal dump won't take pressure treated anymore, so pressure treated's got to go to this dump. But it's free. Our wood in the pile getting ready to scooped up because we thought we might have to drive up the mountain, but kind of wish we were. And that's it. Finished project. Just took us a couple of days, about 3 days total, and we got it all wrapped up and done. Customers happy. Really appreciate you guys so much. Please drop a comment down below. Consider sharing this as well. You can see really came out nice. Customers happy. Smack up the like button. We will see you on the next one. Again, my name is John Cafiro. FLHandymanNow.com is the website. If you have any questions, you can reach out through there as well, or in the comments. Well, consider joining us here at the WeCoach channel, and we will see you on the next one. As I always say, these 5 words: live each breath with passion. Go forward today and make today the best day of your life. We will see you next time. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us and watching this all the way through.